I remember that morning vividly. I woke up feeling a sense of emptiness. Professionally speaking, life was great. I was the editor of nearly 16 supplements at a leading media house in Chennai. My team was young, driven, and full of fun. We worked hard, partied harder. I had a boss who was patient and empowering at the same time. Every day was a new day. But clearly, my mind was seeking something a little more. Almost on a whim that evening, I quit my job. And despite several rounds of negotiations from senior management, I did not give in to the temptation of a larger role, a bigger team, and a fatter pay package. On the last day of my job, when I got home after a very warm and a teary farewell, I remember that I cried buckets. I knew that from the next day onwards, I did not have the backing of a big brand to introduce myself. All I had in my kitty were the years of experience that I had gathered, the relationships I had cultivated and nurtured, and my own ability to carry forward a reputation that I thought I had so carefully crafted. I sought solace in bylines. I wrote extensively across publications in India on subjects close to my heart: arts, artists, culture, and fitness. A year later, I discovered that I was pregnant. But even before I could share news of my pregnancy with friends and family, my 8th week scan revealed that the baby's heart had stopped beating. That was really my first ever experience with pain and loss. Writing came to my rescue yet again. But I was seemingly restless and terribly lonely. Perhaps in hindsight, both personally and professionally, I was seeking something that was my own. And that was the genesis of Aalaap. Aalaap began as an initiative in the performing arts, and it sought to work with classical performing artists, especially in the south of India, and offered them a range of services that included ideation, curation, production, promotions, marketing, management, etc. Aalaap gave me a sense of purpose and a sense of identity. What remained as an idea in my head suddenly breathed with a life and a mind of its own. For starters, Aalaap was terribly time-consuming and demanding. The fact that I worked in the classical performing arts space meant, which is a fairly unorganized space, you should know, meant that my job was in a sense 24/7. Also the fact that I worked with artists, mostly women, meant that I had to tread egos and sensitivities with care and caution. But slowly and steadily, we crossed one milestone after another, and just as Aalaap celebrated its first anniversary, Aryan came along. Screeching and screaming, looking perfectly adorable with a mop of curly hair, I knew when I set my eyes on him that my life was going to change forever. So what is this about? Is this the story of a business and a baby? Yes, it is. Is this the story of a mother who is also an entrepreneur? Absolutely. Is this the story of how the principles of parenting, in a sense, mirror the principles that determine the course of a business? You bet it is. But really, this is about the idea of choice, of choosing deliberately with care and conviction. For time immemorial, we women have been conditioned to believe that at some point in our lives, we have to choose one over another. children over career, husband, household and its happiness over professional identity and growth. The thing about me is, I didn't. And that's because I believed from day one that Aalaap was as much a labor of my love as Aryan was a product of my husband and my love. In fact, Aryan's arrival only reinforced my faith and belief in preserving and protecting my first, even as my second struggled to come to terms with the new world. I like to call this the me model, M-E, mother, entrepreneur. Motherhood, entrepreneurship. I am a woman, I am a mother, I am an entrepreneur. I have 2 children, one with a heartbeat and one who exists as an idea and through its journeys, ups and downs, has a heartbeat of its own. Both my children, Aalaap and Aryan, are exactly one and the same. They are exciting and they are exhausting. They are real, they are dynamic, they are constant, they are continuous. They throw tantrums at the drop of a hat, but one little smile or one shot of success can fill me with an emotion that is beyond description. They are my present, and I believe I have an integral role in shaping their future. So how does the me model work? I like to think of it as the test theory, T-E-S-T, because really it's an everyday test. Sometimes you score runs with speed. Sometimes success and validation are nowhere in sight. Sometimes success comes in intangible ways. Sometimes success is literally in your face. Either ways, it's a test. Everyday test. Day in, day out. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Let us attempt to break down the test theory. T for trials. Children throw tantrums. Yes, they do. Tantrums can be debilitating. But what do? You simply cultivate the art of patience, and if the tantrum is funny, you capture it on your mobile phone, and when the tantrum is past, you watch the video and have a good laugh and hope and pray that this is a phase and this too shall pass. Likewise with the business and its ecosystem. Clients with egos, employees with baggage, you get the picture. E for endurance. Back in school, I used to be a sprint runner. In my early 20s, I discovered the joy of long distance running. I can't claim to be a great runner, but I do know that running taught me one of the most crucial lessons in life. It taught me to believe that the road is really a metaphor for life, and that I had to run through the pain because I believed that the finish line was literally just around the corner, and tomorrow I would be better for the running. Motherhood, most mothers will agree, is a lot about endurance. We endure our children despite all the challenges with love and passion because, hey, this is a mini me, right? And we invest all our energies in them because we believe that the return on investment is going to be phenomenal and heartwarming at the same time. Likewise with Aalaap. We've endured many a rough patch. We've signed up projects that we clearly did not have the competency for. We worked with clients whom we vowed we would never work again. We've cursed them, sometimes even abused them, but we've endured them because we've believed, and we still do, that they've had an integral role to play in the life cycle of the business. As for support, what would I really do without my support system? My husband, my parents, my caregiver, all of whom collectively and collaboratively helped me in raising Aryan, even as I focus my energies on Aalaap, reassuring me of pure, unadulterated love and affection, encouraging me constantly to never ever give up on my dream. At Aalaap, I've had the good fortune of working with a very tiny but a very committed team that I sometimes wonder why they opted, for instance, to place their energies in a small startup instead of a large corporate sector. Perhaps they did that because they, in a sense, believed in my vision and helped me in realizing my big idea. T for turning point. There are milestones, and there are milestones, and there are milestones. When I had Aryan, I didn't believe in milestones. Friends who'd had babies already would text me saying that things would get better when he would hit the 3-month mark. That when he would be 6 months old, I would actually have the time to take a shower that was more than 6 minutes. That when he'd start preschool, the 3 hours that he'd be gone would become the 3 most productive hours of my life. Milestones exist. They are real things, and they only get better with time. Last year, Aalaap crossed the 5-year mark in business, and almost magically something changed. Either we had gotten better at the business, Aalaap had figured itself out, or people had realized that we are a real company with a real vision, committed to making a real difference in their lives as artists and to the world of arts at large. And slowly and steadily, Aryan, my most sensitive child, warmed up to his oldest sibling Aalaap. As all older siblings do, Aalaap was magnanimous enough to share my love and attention with someone who needed me just a little more. And in the chaos of my mind, we all found a happy world together. So what am I saying? Is everything hunky-dory? Am I the epitome of perfect balance? Not at all. In fact, on an everyday basis, I have an equal amount of ups and downs. Let me give you an example. On that rare morning when I'm dressed in my superwoman avatar at its best, ready to go out and conquer the world, a little drizzle from the previous night will have the school declare a holiday. And whoosh, my plans will come crashing down. On that rare afternoon, when I go to pick up my child from school, just because I'm one of those few mothers who does not go regularly to pick up her child, a stay-at-home mother will invite us for a play date, which I invariably will have to turn down because, hey, it's at 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. is smack in the center of a crazy busy working day. But I wade through it all, hoping and praying that I never ever allow guilt, as Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, my favorite writer, says, that thing around my neck. I recently read a blog by James Clear. Clear suggests that we look at life as a stove with 4 burners. And he says that you attribute the 4 most important quadrants of life to each of the burners. So there's family, work, health, and friends. Clear says that at any point in your life, if you want to be successful, you have to cut off 1 burner. But if you want to be really, really successful, you have to cut off 2 burners. Thank you, James Clear, because the 2 burners that are burning with intensity in mine are family and work. I am me, mother, entrepreneur. I have 2 children, one with a heartbeat and one who exists as an idea and through its journeys, ups and downs, has a heartbeat of its own. And both matter equally. Thank you very much.